Hello, traders. It is Friday, September 5, 2025. It's going to be a big day. Make sure you got your stops running and, of course, your seatbelts on. This, of course, is today's Traders Daily Discipline to end the week. I'm your host, Jason Allen, as always. I've got uh, interesting quote for us to get started on today. I had a couple of thoughts over the last day or two I wanted to share with you, and I thought this was kind of a good way to get started on that. We may want to go more than one session, but that's kind of up to you guys. You've been doing really well with comments and likes and fast forwards and all the rest of that, and I really appreciate it. So let's see where this goes. So, anyway, today's quote to get us started: success in business requires training and discipline and hard work. But if you're not frightened by these things, the opportunities are just as great today as they ever were. And that, of course, is David Rockefeller, who is gone now, passed away in 2017, I believe, 102 years old. Um, Owner of the Chase Bank. I don't know what do they call the Chase Bank now? Just Chase. Um, Third generation Rockefeller, inherited a lot of wealth, died as a very wealthy man though, in the billions, gave a lot of it away. Also started the Trilateral Commission for you conspiracy theorists. Um, but what I thought was interesting about this quote is that if you're not frightened by training, discipline, and hard work, the opportunities are just as great today as they ever were. You know, we as traders often don't really stop to think about how big of an opportunity we really have. Um, True, if you're not afraid of a little hard work, a little extra effort, a little discipline, because it's all about discipline. If you're not afraid of those things, you're willing to dive in, and you really start to take the blinders off and look around. The opportunities to build wealth today are staggering. I think if you could live to be 65 years old and retire, and you retire broke in this country, that should be a crime. The opportunity for every single person to put themselves in a financially secure position has never been better, ever, in all of recorded history. If you, like I've done, read some really good books on economic theory and history, especially history, it's very important to read history. Something such as The Origin of Wealth, great book. Um, Maybe you might want to read a couple of really good books on economic theory, and there's a lot of them out there. I'm not going to waste your time with specific titles because you'll think I'm an advocate of economic theory. I'm not. I think economies run just fine without government meddling in them. So part of the reason we have booms and busts is because the government interferes in the process of building wealth. And the reason the government must interfere is because people who are involved in building and creating opportunities and wealth often are devious, unscrupuled people. They won't work with integrity. They cheat. They lie. They don't pay a fair wage. They ignore problems like health threats when they're making a product. They don't necessarily keep everything clean according to a standard that would make common sense, not just what the law says. You see what I'm saying? So that's why the government has to interfere. Now, let's suppose that we all lived according to a level of integrity that would be at a minimum. Imagine all that extra effort and money going right back into product development and research. We would be at a golden age of business. But we don't really need that. We can stay right where we're at because the ideas and opportunities that are being created right now are staggering, in my opinion. As a trader, how do we take advantage of this? Well, let's talk a little bit about some of the opportunities that are out there, and if you're willing to work hard and exercise a little discipline and learn a few things, you could take advantage of those. One of the things I think would be important for you to consider is diversifying across asset classes. I trade foreign currencies, I also trade futures, and I have some equities. Now, all of them require some basics, right, that we attempt to learn. Some of them don't require as many, and others involve a little more creativity. For example, the size of my equity would mean that normally most people would take and put 100% of their effort into one area. What I've decided to do is divide my equity into smaller pieces to take advantage of other opportunities, but trade smaller size. So instead of trading the big board, I'll trade the minis or even the micros. And there are ways to participate if you're willing to make a few phone calls and cruise the web for a little bit, where you can trade in the micro sized accounts, and you can take something as small as say $5,000 or $10,000 and diversify it across 15 or 20 asset classes. I even found a guy who will invest in the collecting art business, the business of collecting and managing art. He's created a mutual fund style investment out of art. What a great idea. One of the best asset classes for long term growth over the past 35 years has been the appreciation of fine art. Go up in value. Could do the same thing. Nobody's done it yet. Maybe this is an opportunity you could pass on to yourself. Nobody's done it yet in collector cars, but collector cars tend to hold their value. Might make a great opportunity there. And this particular guy in the art business, he'll take very small amounts of money because he pools it like a mutual fund would. Fascinating idea. I thought collecting art was out of my reach. Now it's not. If you're willing to look around, require a little training, require a little bit more discipline, take an extra couple hours a week and run ideas past yourself and look into things. Diversify your equity a little bit in areas you hadn't thought of before. Right now, I think it's staggering amount of money to be made for all of us by just using a little bit of common sense and a little bit of critical thinking and exercising some patience. The marketplace today really is a level playing field, and you're certainly entitled to your unfair share. So get out there, make it happen, and don't be afraid to look outside the box a little bit, because I think you'll be surprised at how many good things are really happening out there. So good luck, good trading. Remember, today's Friday. I think it's non-farm payrolls today, right? So get ready for the e-ticket ride. And I'll see you guys again on Monday. Have a great weekend. Oh, before I go, don't forget, on Saturday, the 6th, I'll be publishing my weekly performance for this week. I do it every Saturday. For those of you that don't know, every Saturday I put my weekly performance out in full view of the trading community, so you can see that what I talk about in here and what I offer on Net Winning Trader and on the Market Mastery Meetup is really solid material, and it's really good information for you to gather and learn about. And of course, to start a relationship with what we're doing might be a really good move for you. So that being said, again, I'll let you go. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. Thanks.